Hey guys, welcome back to Hotel Dropouts. Today we will be talking about the population crisis. Once again, I am joined by Benny and Dan. Uh, my name is Jamie. My weekly hot take is that I'm really annoyed with Google because apparently, if you have Chrome and if your computer system meets a certain requirement, they'll actually install a 4 GB AI weight for Gemini locally on your PC without permission. Did you know this, Dan? Benny?
Hello, everyone. This is Dan. My hot take is well, it might not be a hot take, but I feel good that Windows is now scrambling to update Windows 11 so it's not so bad, because it's so bad that even the CEOs, I guess, now are getting it. So I guess that's good.
Oh my goodness.
Hello, everyone. This is Benny. I don't know. I heard that Google Chrome have a lot of bloatware and that it really junks up your RAM. I think, but I never knew it was that bad. So I started avoiding it and started using Firefoxes. So instead, especially because of the extension uBlock Origin, which blocks like unnecessary and unwanted ads. And about Windows, I guess I also heard like it's also junked up. Is this regarding that enshittification topic that we mentioned before?
It is because I don't know. Windows 11 just came out, like they went all in with the AI stuff. So when 11 first came out, because of Copilot, there were a lot of other bloatware in association with Copilot, and Windows 11 in general was just really messed up. Like at one point they had it was a very critical bug, right? Like was it with the text editor or something? That would freeze your system if you do certain thing with the text editor. I'm not sure, but there was some stupid bug that happened. And it's just, I'm happy if people are moving to Linux because of this, because Windows has had such crazy market dominance for the longest time, right? Like they think they're unshakable, so they can just unshitify the product. Or what are you gonna do? Switch to Linux? Are you savvy enough to do that?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And returning back to your topic, I've just read it this morning about Google Chrome installing a local AI model.
Which is crazy. Did you find it?
Bold. I haven't looked at it yet. I guess I probably do have it.
I tried to look for it, but it's not on my it's not on my PC. I think it's because I didn't update Chrome because I don't use it all the time.
Wouldn't that just be like Gemini? Isn't that like
it's for Gemini.
In browser only?
It's for offline stuff, including like they claim it's also for like scam detection or stuff. Typically, like this, having AI weights is not something unusual. Like if you have the desktop version of Claude, you would also have weights locally, because if you disconnect from the internet and you ask Claude a question, it's still able to respond to you because it still has those, it's like the checkpoint data. But the thing with Chrome is that you cannot opt out, and it seems like if you delete it, it'll re-download.
Yeah, that's what I've read as well. But you can opt out. You can type in a certain address. I only remember that it contained the word flags, and there you can opt out. It's the name is not intuitive. If you opt out there and then you delete it, it doesn't get downloaded again.
So
that's great.
I don't know, man. Like it's the whole world has gone mad around just pushing this thing, and it's just at this point it's being shoved down your throat whether you like it or not.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if I have it or not, so maybe it's not that bad. It's bad that I think it's claimed to be used to better predict which tabs you're gonna open and what kind of request you're gonna send, but I totally understand why people don't truly believe that this is going to be the only thing it's used for.
Yeah.
So it is kind of creepy.
It has that. This harkens back to, like, it gives me a bit of, back when we still had to, like, input our emails, where, like, when you type in your emails, you hit log in. At some point, I think it was early 2010 or something, where Google made a decision that as soon as you start typing, it assumes that like, based on where you're logging in, it assumes that you already know your own password. So in the back, it actually already preloaded, like, your inbox, right? And if you don't pass the email to, like, if you input the password incorrectly, then yeah, of course you get rejected. But there's a lot of, like, this telemetry kind of stuff that's happening. Optimization, as they say. So I don't know. Like, I think it's here to stay. I think.
I wonder. So, if it preloads it, do you mean on your computer or somewhere on the server?
It would be on, like, preloading your I don't know, actually. Preloading your email.
Because I wonder. That sounds like if it's doing it on your computer, that sounds like a safety concern, because then savvy people can stop there and just access your emails even though you didn't enter your password yet.
But doesn't that already happen with, like, cookies? Like, a lot of people get hacked because they have cookies for login, and the hackers just get the token and they can log in without knowing your password.
I didn't know.
Also, and it's not just malicious things like hackers and stuff. Like, if I don't want to be like, and they're gonna go after you and your kids and everything like that, but, like, what about the for your safety anti-privacy governmental plans? Like I think they now have, like, AI software in your cars which can predict whether you can drive or not, if you're sober or not, and the car can decide to just shut down.
Oh yeah, this has been a conversation, like, for the past week about.
Yeah, and it's not just that. Like, apparently, like, in the Americas, like, they're installing, like, facial recognition system of a kind into their surveillance cameras as well. And it's always been touted as this is for your safety, right?
Yeah.
But it's been confirmed that
That is for your danger.
No, the thing is, right, law enforcement have been confirmed to abuse this system, and they are instead, like, using this access, breach of privacy, to stalk their love interest. And they made fun of it and called it law int, because there's OSINT, open source information, there's radio int, there's this int, that int, information sources, right? And basically the information security community was making fun, calling it love int.
That's
love information.
Weird.
It is though. Like, it's a stupid joke, but it is messed up.
But you know how this is also happening on the age verification front, where I felt like I was the only person going mad when I was in the UK when the age verification thing went off. Like, I stayed with my friend back then, him and his wife. I told him about this thing, and then they're all very unfazed, in the sense that they've kind of just had enough. They're like,
you got nothing to hide, then it shouldn't matter, right? Yeah.
I don't know if he had that belief, but I think he had his attitude was that, well, there's nothing you could do about it. But it's just so it's so messed up. Like the whole age verification thing. Now, like eventually, it's gonna evolve into a point where you are not going to be able to use VPNs. I think, in fact, it's being talked about in the EU Parliament now that there is a potential. What's it called? They're investigating like the legal legality of VPNs as a service, right? And like people don't know this, but eventually this is going to devolve into a surveillance state that is what we have now in China. If you're happy, just travel to China, test it for yourself. It's very simple. When you go there, everything needs to be tied to you. Everything needs to be verified. All the apps that you're using, yes, it's amazing. You could use it for payments. You could use it for tickets. You could use it for all kinds of public services. But you are being tracked, it's kind of uncomfortable. And this is what's coming for us, I think, in the Western world, right? Except it feels
I think how a lot of people feel. Sorry to interrupt. Is that I'm not doing anything illegal, so this shouldn't bother me. Like it shouldn't. I don't think they realize
dumb
like
logic, man. That is such a dumb logic.
Yeah, I don't think they realize like it can still be used nefariously against you.
Right? Like, look, if you're like a patriot, you think your country can do no wrong. So you think the draconian style that you have with the CCP is fine. Okay, but what's coming to the West is Palantir controlling you. It's mega corporations. It's the tech bros, right? Like it's not the government.
Cyberpunk 2077, here we come.
Yeah. I think that while you were discussing all this, I keep thinking about people that they would like to show these Chinese systems from their convenient point and say, oh, look at China is living in the future. And at the same time, I feel like those are the same people that if they would find out that their government is tracking all the things, even if they would frame it as this is to bring the same convenience as China has, they will be like, no, not acceptable. It's just annoying for me that they're like when there's somebody else doing that, they're like, oh, look at this amazing convenience. And then at the same time, they could be.
I know what you're talking about then.
Yeah.
Those kind of people, yeah.
Holy shit! Like,
I think their official term are called hypocrites.
I believe so. But you know what I think? It's at one point it's not good that they verify your age and everything like that. But at the same time, I think about the past, where, for example, if you would like to speak on the radio, or like whenever you broadcast your opinion, you're usually very trackable. And even if you speak out in public, there's free speech, but you're still pretty trackable. And I feel like internet gave us a whole period of life where we were given additional anonymity.
Yeah.
And I think there's a certain problem to that. I don't know if this is what is happening right now is a good solution. Sounds like it's maybe not, but at the same time, it's good for free speech. But at the same time, there are organizations that use it to manipulate people, and I don't understand how to like challenge that.
Yeah.
Maybe it should be depends on what you're using it for, kind of way.
My idea that I had is that there should be, for example, I don't know, on places like YouTube, there should be basically two worlds that exist in parallel. You can remain as you are, and like anonymous, right? And you can have your nick that doesn't tie you to anything in the real world, and you see all the other people that are like that. But then you can opt in to verify your account, like with your actual name, and tied to you, like you jurisdictically, and then you only see people and their comments and their contents that have done that.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're worried about government overreach, you're perfectly fine and you can continue using all the services. This should always remain an option available, that you don't have to do it. But if you want to kind of check out the world where only people that really exist, that are not bots, that are like actual people, can comment and create content, you also have that option. Because I would definitely try it. Maybe I'm naive, but I feel like it would be a better internet.
You know how, like,
if we would have that option.
I think it's just accountability, right? Because like on one hand, while you wanna maintain your safety in terms of privacy concerns and stuff, you also want people to have accountability for, if not, they just start spewing shit, right?
Exactly. And it's often framed as a protection of free speech, but then I would say the problem is that if people know who you are, and then all of a sudden you cannot exercise free speech, then that means you never had it.
Yeah,
because free speech comes from the laws and from the fact that the police cannot say. That the police cannot come and prosecute you because you said, "Oh, our president is an idiot. I don't like him."
Yeah, sticky situation, huh?
So that's why when I hear people getting angry at governments that they're trying to control, I think about it from two sides. The first of all, then but we must come up with a way to, have this accountability. And at the second time, I think about other bad governments and organizations that are basically using our attempts to keep free speech as free as possible to pursue their malicious goals through some, the most, I think, widely used or voiced is bot farms and stuff like that.
Speaking of like bot farms, like, do you know that in South Korea, in a lot of the MMOs, like a big problem with us players in Southeast Asia, like going from China to Taiwan to Singapore to Indonesia, like MMOs are huge here, right? Like people play on their phones and on many devices, and it's like one of those forever games that you play. So it's like a big game with a lot of systems. It practically is a different job. I actually want to make a video about it. These games are often plagued with bots, and like South Korea solved it by basically only allowing, like, when you play these online games, you have to register, and there's a whole system there. You are completely verified. It's tied to your name. It's very difficult to circumvent, right? And so when they play these games, most South Koreans are also big spenders on video games. And
would you say it's like it's made to be like a whole second life because it's a form of escapism?
I guess so. And so I'm gonna pose this question to you guys, like, do you think that's the way that it should be for, for these, like, is this South Korean model, is that a hallmark of how online interaction should be done? Because there are people that play video games, right? Like and then they lied about something and then subsequently went to jail. There are people that said the wrong things that were also tracked online, right? And they were also punished for it. And a lot of times, like, it was legal, right? Even though it's contentious, it was made legal to cut down that kind of speech, especially in a dystopic society like South Korea. You don't want to mess with the Samsung overlords, right? The feudal lords that actually run the country. So like, on the one hand, the MMO space in South Korea, like, it feels like playing a completely different game because you don't have bots and everybody's like an actual real player. You know, it's like the good old days RuneScape where you do meet like, you know, you could just stumble upon like another player. Whereas if you play in other parts of Asia, when you play these games, it's all just bots, right? Like you'll see, because there's so much money involved in these games, like it's all bots. But yeah, like what do you guys think?
Well, as I said, I think with these things, I think it's really good to just keep that option. You know, have that's what I said. There should be basically two parallel worlds.
Yeah.
If you want, like me, if you want, you can confirm your identity and only interact with people that did the same. If you don't trust it, there should always be an option to not do that, because this keeps the system in check. It's not a monopolist that can do whatever they want, because if it will do something bad, people will very easily and quickly switch to the anonymous variant.
Isn't that what's kind of already happening on spaces like Reddit, where there are people that are fully verified users, and they'll do things like AMAs, like Ask Me Anythings, and then when you go to like more questionable subs where it's about like confessions or stuff or stuff of that nature, they'll use like a throwaway account.
Yeah, also,
well, I guess, but
but
in Reddit, how do they confirm? It's not an actual, you know, like a bank verification.
Yeah, it's
right?
that's a cool thing. I think like it's not confirmed by Reddit. It's actually confirmed by whatever sub the moderators, like whichever subs that person wants to speak in. Like for example, you know, if you're an actor, you might want to go on the boys sub, and then through your agency you could reach out to the moderators of the sub and be like, hey, this is us, I'm verified, this is me, I'm gonna do that. And then the mod basically vouched for you. The mod basically said that, they reached out, this is real. So obviously there's still a possibility for scam.
Yeah, but I also know that some people try to verify this using pictures, but with the rise of AI and stuff, like they would write the date and hold on a piece of paper and hold themselves holding that piece of paper with the date on it. But it seems like with AI, that kind of quote unquote self-verificating picture where I hold the today's date to prove that this is me, and r/whatever Reddit I post to, seems like a very easy thing to replicate with the level of
I know what you mean.
today.
Oh well, it's all very messy. But anyway, enough tangent. I guess we should delve into today's topic of population crisis. Is it actually a problem for us to have less people? And we're gonna dive into each of our countries and look at it respectively. I have the research done by AI in front of me, so we're gonna verify and see how true Claude's research is. Okay. First of all, do you guys think, where did the idea come from? Like, where did the idea that we should be at replacement level, or the idea that we should at least be a growing population, come from? Like, why is that the norm? Is it bad to have less people? Like, what do you guys think?
I think that the idea is probably something that we have by nature. We want our species to continue to exist. On average, I think. Of course, there are people that don't agree, but I think on average, as a species, we do that tendency.
I have something I'd like to add. It's communism.
Do you mean capitalism?
What?
Both of them. Communism and capitalism. Did I subvert expectations there?
Yeah. I was like, what? Oh, I guess. Well, I know what you mean.
But genuinely, it's the both of them. And I think this comes from a more olden time of the medieval era, because what a sovereign entity's worth was based on their manpower, right? How much levies they could field.
Yeah.
So more levies generally equate to more military might, which generally equate to more relevance or strength, right?
Yeah.
And and to have more levies, or to be able to sustain more levies, you need to be able to sustain more food production. And if you to be able to sustain more food production, you need to have more farmers. And to have more farmers, you need more people. And it's like a death spiral, but upwards of, oh, I need more. Which is what I think also the capitalism of infinite growth comes from as well, where I need more resources, more people to generate resources, more people to generate industry, more.
Yeah, I think I agree. I also had the thought that it's easier for the economy to feel good when there's always, new land, new people. You can always try to do it better next time, kind of like that, like that.
I think in part it has also become the standard for countries that evolved into welfare states. You know, the countries that after World War II don't really have to spend much on their military, and therefore they do have a lot of extra money that they can give into systems like pension. Now that they've set up the countries like welfare states, you know, like most Western nations, you naturally need more young people to support the economy, such that for every young person there is one to one relationship, right? Like you want to have as many young people as there are old people, so they can pay for their pension.
Actually, you should have more.
Yeah, you need to have. Ideally, you want to have more, right? Like, and that's
one to one. I think is not enough, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like the same thing is that's the same case with replacement rate of population as well. Like ideally, you want to have a woman should have a total fertility rate of 2.1. So on average, each woman should have 2.1 kids.
So 10 women make one additional one.
Or one woman just gives birth to like 2 kids, and one like partially formed fetus.
Cut one arm off.
One woman gives a ear.
Yeah, exactly.
Gives a foot.
You piece them together.
And then they assemble.
You know, so like the whole welfare state, like that's what's the crisis that's happening in Germany, in France, in many of even Scandinavian nations, right? Like you're running out of young people. The most extreme is obviously Japan. You're just not going to be able to sustain the older generation with so little young people.
Yeah, I think the problem. I'm gonna kind of jump a bit ahead, I think, with this, but I think the problem is not economy or something like that. I think the problem is the culture. It's just that we, as a society, kind of decided that. I mean, it's a okay path to have children and grow your family, but it's kind of like just one option that is kind of somewhere there.
That actually perfectly
really
segues to
everyone.
Yeah, that segues perfectly to my next part, where I was going to ask you guys: do you think the drop in TFR, the total fertility rate, is it largely a cultural problem, or is it an economic problem?
I would say it's a cultural problem.
I would say it's a bit of both, right?
Because if you think about it,
yeah.
Because if you think about it, we had plenty of kids in the history of humanity, and the economies back then were not great. Like peasants didn't live a good life.
Yeah.
Even before World War II, you could argue that people had it harder. Industrial eras. So I think it's just. It's a cultural thing, and also another another connection that is not nice is that the more, on average, women are educated in a country, the less children that country has. And
Dan is
a
cancelled.
very silly solution would be not to allow women to get education, but
Only
but I
the
think
most radical of ideas in this country.
yes, easy fix. Well, you see, they get smart and they don't want children, so let's not allow them to get smart.
Join our Patreon
no.
if you want to dox Dan.
But I think the problem is cultural. I think we need to evolve how we raise our children. We kind of need to make it a completely acceptable for children to be a part of our life again. Having mothers or fathers bringing their children to work if they don't have somewhere to put them.
Yeah,
child labor. Yes,
I don't know. You know what?
make them work. Extra hands.
extra pairs of
You know
hands.
what else? Right before the fall of the Soviet Union, people had a lot of kids. And I don't know why. Was it because condoms, like any other product, was very hard to come by? Or was it? It was also a cultural thing. Like I said, when my mother gave birth to me, that was like right 1 year before the fall of the Soviet Union. But even at that point, it was a completely normal opinion that if a girl doesn't have a child by 25, then everyone would assume there must be something wrong with her. It's not because she chose to, but
the leftover woman problem in China.
That kind of
something like that.
was,
and
back then.
Why I mention all this is because it doesn't tie with my theory. Because women had education, they had the same opportunities, they worked the same jobs in the Soviet Union. So I wonder why. Why did it change all of a sudden? And as soon as the Soviet Union fell apart, there was a drop.
One quick thing. Also, another thing I noticed is that looking after the children, it's really hard, right? Like for example, in the Asian room, the labor is cheap. You can get like a live at your house nanny, even multiple of them, to help you look after your child. So what if like there is a government funded ability of like it's not, it's like a daycare system, but you maybe don't have to pay for it. You know what I mean?
I mean, some Scandinavian countries do this, where companies would provide daycare programs for their employees, and this daycare program is partially subsidized by the government. But look, I don't know, man. Like the idea that having state subsidized nannies would only be as cheap as the inflation level allows. You can't both have a low labor cost and still have like high levels of inflation, right?
Yeah, but it brings me back to this system of the more premature not environments, but like communities where mothers could rely on each other, or families could rely on each other to look after their children. So it's not like one parent looking after one child, but it was like a bunch of parents. It's like a force multiplier effect where a bunch of parents would look after a bunch of child, and because of the increased number and shared responsibilities, it would already be a lot easier.
I think it's just such a big shift in how most people survive. In the past, most of us are farmers. If we still existed in the world a couple decades back, you, me, Dan, we would both be farmers of different kinds, right? Like it's the most natural job to settle into. And we most likely
would farm potato.
Yeah,
Jamie would farm rice.
Benny would farm because he swears he would farm Nazi gold.
But hold on, here comes the conundrum. Like it's 50-50. Like, would I be still in the Asian room or in the European room? It's a coin toss for me.
But you understand how it was beneficial to have more kids. More kids meant more people to help with the farm. Giving
everyone was building their own empire.
Yeah, bearing a child meant expanding your empire. It was the most natural thing to do. And farmer communities tend to like stick very close together. Families live in a big house, right? Like my mother used to sleep with like 7 of her same siblings in the same bed with their mom and dad. Like that's crazy. And so you know, like just having that big community to look after your kids versus what we have now. Everybody is moving towards autonomy. People want to be in their own flat. You don't have anyone to take care of your kids, and bearing children is just even without the societal stigma, right? It's a net negative to your potential. Right, like the amount of money that you would have to spend, especially in places like South Korea, like in Asia, the amount of money you need to invest in the cram schools, right, like amounts to million over the lifetime of your kids.
Cram school. What is that? Is it called like that because there's a lot of people in a small room, or because they study a lot?
That is also true.
It's kinda, but it's more like cramming the information into your head.
Yeah, it's school after school.
I have something to mention before we get too far away. I need to correct myself. So while you were talking, I was Googling on basically the topic why the birth rate in the USSR was so high. And one thing I didn't realize is that mostly the high birth rate was driven by non-European member states. If you look at the statistics of, like for example, Russia as a country inside that union, then it's more or less the same as everywhere else in Europe. So. So maybe it's just a trend that everyone was following, and Soviet Union wasn't the exception.
I think the rule of thumb is that you keep people poor and stupid, then they'll give birth to a lot of kids. Like I think the highest.
No, I don't think so. I think if you make them feel safe, like there was a big rise in the middle class, right? And if they feel like they're economically safe enough to be able to afford kids, I think there would be a higher incentive to have children.
I would even say that it's not only about the economic, but
not only, of course.
It's to have a clear path, right? Like coming back to the Soviet Union, you were poor, but you still had a lot of kids because by law, there was no option for you to become homeless. There was no option for you to not have a job, to the point where it's not allowed not to work, which is another thing that is not good. But in a way, if you wanted to live a very default life of a regular citizen, everything was already taken care of you. You have kindergarten, and you have something that I don't know how you call it in English, but it's a place for you to bring your basically newborn infant. Well, not newborn, but like a very, very young child, like
nursery
2 years or something like that. Yeah. If you need to work and you need somebody to take care of your baby, you can bring it there.
That's what I meant. That's why I mentioned earlier about having like this group of parents, so that you're not only responsible, like you can drop them off basically, like a nursery, a kindergarten.
And just to be clear, I'm not saying the Soviet Union was a solution or it was good. It's just that on the surface, it seemed like at least something there was driving, the birth rate up. And I was just wondering what it is, and can we clean off all the bad stuff and just use that core to bring up the birth rate without bringing the dictatorship?
Yeah.
So let's dive into
like Jamie said, right? Like we want the population numbers to keep going up because we need the fresh slaves, the fresh manpower to be able to supply
Don't be sexist. Also, fresh women power.
I mean men with the E, not the N-A, so it's both genders, in case you don't know that.
But that by itself, like, do you see how like that by itself surely cannot be sustainable? You cannot have an entire planet full of countries that are all having net positive trade that results in all net positive growth in population. That just isn't possible. Right?
Wait, I want to say something.
But that's capitalism.
But wait,
Yeah.
I don't think we have to grow the population. I think the issue today is that it's just gonna shrink too fast. Like there's not enough young people to support the old. And so the old will have to change the way they live. They'll have to go on their retirement later, much later, and stuff like that. It's fine to lower the population. We really don't, like, the way technology is going, we don't really need a lot of people. But it's bad that it's we're going to have this very awkward drop where at some point there will be so many old people and not enough young people. Again, maybe technology will develop fast enough by that point, so like young people won't. Not only young people have to bear it, but basically robots and stuff like that could also.
I think the solution.
Help.
I think the solution is to have AI-powered robots that run on training data of actual human beings that have been fully trained, i.e., old people. So you cut off their brains, right? You feed it to the AI as a checkpoint data that has all the training data that the human being individual has compiled over his lifetime, and then you feed that to the AI bot. And you make.
Do you mean like a digital upload of a brain scan?
Kind of, but you're uploading it onto an AI system that then would be a robot slave, is effectively.
By the way, a tangent. I've recently learned that there are jobs that are popular in Africa, but not only, where people wash dishes and basically do chores for money and not for someone else. They do it because they also have a camera that films this from their point of view, and that data and those videos are sent to whatever company is hiring them for this job, because apparently they're going to use it to train robots to do those things.
I've already seen.
Isn't that what the Apple, the robot thingy does?
I've already seen this in China years ago.
Does Apple have a robot?
Like there's this, isn't there like this AI? Isn't there this like human robot?
Oh
thing
no!
The
one that's from this scammy like Scandinavian company.
The one that has a black version.
Wait, no, but like
but I'm pretty sure like it's been found out like it's actually like a guy. Like,
yeah. They use telemetry for that.
I remember there was this talk show where they brought that robot to the talk show, and they would ask them, "Okay, now show me how you would wash rhino's horn," and it would start to make motions that basically kind of mimic how you would masturbate someone.
Oh my god!
And they would keep asking you to do stuff like that.
It's obscene. But yeah, the training stuff is already happening. I have seen factories where it's really dystopian. You see lines of workers on the production line, and they all have like GoPro cameras that record their motion for training. I don't know how far that's going to go though, because that's already been happening 2 years back. I've still yet to see any fully autonomous, factories doing that, right? Like this applies to so many things, right? If you think about all the little tiny things you would buy that are often made in China, your speakers, your stationery, right? Like all those things that often require a factory to use human beings, not because they couldn't automate it, but because the nature of the job is so low in payout, like the profit margin is so low that these factories need to be flexible by nature. So they need human beings that are able to assemble toys, go from assembling toys from 1 week to assembling cheap electronics in the second week, and then to working on cameras the next week, right? Like it's about flexibility. So so that's why like they obviously they could use robots, right? Like full on autonomous robot building, like the ones you see in car manufacturing, but they don't do that because they need flexibility because of how rough the market is. So I don't know how quick is that going to be adopted, right? Because how do you go from like, hey, now you have these pair of robotic hands that are trained for, I don't know, sorting pills, and then now suddenly you need it to do something else? I don't know. I'm skeptical. Anyway,
I guess you just need specialization. I mean, like even in the basics of industry, like you can rapidly increase production by focusing on specialization, right?
Yeah. Right. Let's dive into the data. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Taiwan is number 1 in terms of population decline. We are sitting at a 0.72 TFR.
More than Japan?
Yeah, more so than Japan, more so than South Korea. We are literally number 1 in the world in population decline.
Number 1.
So Latvia has a TFR of 1.35, which is surprisingly good. That's like European standard. Switzerland has 1.29. So respectively, Taiwan has a 23 million population. Latvia has 1.8 million. That only? That's crazy. Switzerland has.
You keep getting surprised.
I am. Let's say such a small country.
Stop mocking our size.
Okay. Benny.
Size don't matter, JB.
Yeah, Switzerland has 9 million people.
It's how you use your population.
No, but here's the interesting
Wow, that was
part.
an evil laugh, Werner.
No, that was very evil. In Taiwan, the population over 65 is 20%, and that only happened last year, I think. So we're super aged. Latvia has 22% of people over 65. Switzerland only has 19%. But in terms of immigration like buffer, how many immigrants can we like sub in to mitigate the problem? Taiwan has minimal. We are only recently talking about letting Indians in, but that is so controversial. I don't know where that's going to go. Latvia is...
I don't know if I want to say what I want to say. I had like a intrusive
No, Bernard,
thought.
hold it in.
I just had an intrusive thought.
The intrusive demonetization thought. Holy shit. Latvia...
No, I think Dan knows exactly what I want to say.
I don't know exactly, but I already know the direction, I guess, like the category of where it is. Where the demonetization theme of YouTube will land us.
Latvia has net negative migration buffer, as in you're losing people. Yes. Switzerland, on the other hand, is incredible. Like, Switzerland has a very strong migration buffer. I think last year about 83,000 people out of 89,000 people were immigrants, meaning the natural births that occurred last year was about 6,000. Or was it not births, but like the...
Actually, local politics right now, there's a big debate on like limiting the number of a...
Exactly. We're going to get to that. That's a whole... That's apparently Claude thinks it's a very relevant thing. So...
And also, I want you to know that I think Switzerland have like the biggest diaspora and secundos population percentage as a country compared to all other countries in the world.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a very significant number. I think it's like 40% or so, maybe, or 30. I don't want to get the wrong numbers on this, but it's really big.
Okay, let me read the Swiss part. You tell me how true this is. So Claude says, the numbers in context. Switzerland's fertility rate has hit a new record of 1.29 children per woman in 2024. Births of third children fell steeply, down 14% over 5 years. And the proportion of 30-year-olds choosing not to have kids rose from 9% to 16% over the past decade. So the average age of a person giving birth in Switzerland is 32.4. Well, it's one of the highest in Europe. Despite falling fertility, population of Switzerland has hit 9 million in 2024. It is still growing because of all the roughly 89,000 residents added from immigration. So the natural growth, which is births minus deaths, is only around 6,000. So this is for 2024. That's crazy. A population of 9 million, but only 6,000 babies. The immigration buffer. So right now, Switzerland's demographic situation is fundamentally different from everywhere else because there's a powerful, continuous, skill-based immigration, primarily from Germany, France, Italy, and other EU states. This masks the native fertility deficit entirely in headline population statistics, but the buffer has a political price. So the SVP, the right-wing Swiss People's Party, has launched a popular initiative to cap Switzerland's population to 10 million, which would restrict the immigration that is keeping Switzerland demographically afloat. Survey of 16,000 respondents showed 52% in favor of the proposal. Economic Suisse warned that limiting immigration would lead to labor shortages in healthcare, research services, and that an aging population and falling birth rate would only exacerbate those shortages. What are your thoughts, Benny?
Look, it's a difficult conversation. I think I understand both sides, right? Like I understand the sides where they say no, enough is enough, because like the people that come, they don't often, I mean, I know it's a small minority, but like the crime rates are going up, and unfortunately it's the usual suspects. And most of them don't even try to integrate, and they just try to benefit as much as they can, and then they get out of there. Like, and they publicly and shamelessly like brag about it as well. And it's not just
where
that.
Are they mostly
like,
from? Name places.
I mean, okay, there's a lot from the Balkan states, there's a lot from neighboring countries, there's a lot from the southern hemisphere. There's a lot of several. I mean, you have also the professional expats from the more northern hemisphere as well, but in terms of numbers, it's a lot smaller.
And what's the worst that have they done? Like, because compared to like the Netherlands, I've only seen like in the Netherlands there have been news of like immigrants murdering.
Look, let's just say it like this: not a lot of things are reported. Like a lot of things I experienced in the army was also not made known publicly. They like to keep it on the down low.
Yeah, like.
But if you know, you know. You know.
You mean how like the Americans kept the fact that Afghani soldiers had a freak out Wednesday where they have sex with young boys and potentially each other on the down low?
What?
Yeah,
a completely different topic. Same, but different, but the same, I guess. But the point is, it's not just that, right? Like that's like just like the more stereotypical statements, right? But like on the day-to-day life also, it's just a lot of traffic, like way more traffic. And you used to never, so you have to experience, like in the Asian room, like 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours traffic jam. It's like a daily thing, normal for us. But then over here, like suddenly from no highway, no traffic, you suddenly have to roll your car down from 120 to a slow crawl for maybe 15 minutes, and that's unfathomable for them.
No, the Germans are outraged. The Germans that live in Sweden
Exactly. You see, and it's just like these, but also that's the thing. It's the combination of these of blatant, shameless abuse of the system, and also these small inconveniences every day. It's like the resentment builds up, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds like I'm talking about a relationship.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, the resentment builds up, and basically we're at the point now where they're saying like, no, enough is enough, you know.
This, folks,
Yeah.
is Bernard's speech to join the SVP.
No, this is understanding the part of the people who say enough. But then on the other hand, you have the economy, right? You have a constantly aging population, and as we mentioned earlier, like you need this influx, and it's not like people are pumping out kids these days. Like even my cousin, they were talking about like, oh, I maybe want 2 or 3 child, but then he realizes how hard it is to have just one.
Yeah.
And the amount of emotional and physical labor that it requires, and he's like, I won't say some of the things I disagree with some of the statements, but basically he's like, no, I don't want more.
Yeah, because it used to be that you give birth to a child, and then once it reaches like 5-6 years old, it's like, yeah, go out, play in the field, that's fine. But now, like, you can't have that. When you have a kid, you need to plan for everything. Oh, all the cram schools, all the studies, all like the investment is so much higher. Like, I can't imagine somebody managing multiple kids nowadays.
So people don't want more kids anymore. They're not having more kids. Usually it's the people from other countries having more children, because there is also. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, but the thing is that
you're also trying to inject, but because of the aging population, you know, like the AHFAO, like the pension system is not gonna work out the way it does. So the government is either like you have to increase the working age, which then will piss people off, or you increase the amount of more working labor into the economy somehow, which would then piss people off. It's like, how do you deal with this issue when the possible solutions just piss somebody off?
Yeah.
Constantly.
Not to mention the fact that the immigrants that are joining your country, their kids will very quickly assimilate. Their kids
usually it takes 3 generations.
It's 1 to 2 generations according to like the census data in like places like the UK, where these
realistically it takes about 3 generations.
I don't know. Like, look, in the UK, you see a lot of these Indian families. You know, my friends who are my age, you know, they would have 2-3 siblings, but they themselves wouldn't even have anything more than like 1 kid. You know, a lot of them don't even want to have kids. Like they respond very sharply to like the economic realities of their time. In essence.
Well, so yeah. So I see the economic issue of putting a limit as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a hard decision to make, right?
It is.
Yeah. You know what? I saw a video, and it was also touching this this topic. Let's say like that. And migration is not gonna help us completely. It's just gonna make it a bit of a softer blow. And that's pretty much it. It's not a solution. It's just something to kind of soften the blow. Yeah.
It's a band-aid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not even a band-aid. Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah. It makes sense.
Okay, well, Switzerland is fucked. Let's look at Latvia, right?
I wouldn't say that. Like it's still heaven on earth compared to most other countries.
Just make old Swiss people into chocolate as an export.
What?
I don't know.
That's horrible. How can you even suggest something like that?
Like you said, like all the solutions are just terrible.
Yeah, it is.
maybe cancel the welfare state. Like, just don't have such a thing as pensions. But then that's gonna
No, that's also not.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna discourage people from like having kids as well. The pension is not.
I think your pension should be tied to the amount of kids you had.
Oh my god! But then
Or do it like the Asian room where you just don't have a pension. You rely on your child to like look after you.
Exactly. We proudly do not have pensions in this part of the world. As you get older, you better be rich, or else you just kill yourself, which has happened.
Crazy.
Latvia, the double hemorrhage, as Claude claims. Between 1990 and 2024, Latvia's population decreased by 780,000 people from 2.66 million to 1.88 million, a decline of 30%. Oh my God. Over the next 30 years, Latvia is projected to lose another 23% through continued depopulation. By 2045, its population is projected to reach 1.5 million. So in 2024, only 12,500 children were born in Latvia, roughly 2,000 fewer than the year before. A 13.2% single year decline, which is insane. Let's see. The emigration multiplier. So Latvia's unique catastrophe is that the emigration of its fertile age population are leaving. Like it's increasing, right? So EU accession in 2004 gave Latvians immediate access to the labor market of the UK, Ireland, Sweden, attracting thousands. So the economic crisis of 2008 and 2009 and its social consequences sent even more Latvians abroad, including those who had never previously considered emigrating. Latvia and Lithuania have lost more than 10% of their respective population via net migration since 2004. So this creates a demographic debt. You lose the women of childbearing age and their future children. A society of a TFR 1.35 alongside stable population, it has serious problems. A society with the same TFR, but it's losing young women to emigration, has an accelerating catastrophe. So Latvia is losing about 20,000 inhabitants annually, equivalent to a medium-sized Latvian town. Although the political elite recognized the problem after the 2007 crisis, Latvia has failed to implement any comprehensive measures or devise a political strategy to reverse or even slow the net negative trend. A major issue is the absence of social consensus on allowing immigration outside the EU. In fact, Latvia has tightened its immigration rules since September of 2023. There's not more details on that, but in short, that's the summary, right? Like the accelerating immigration. What are your thoughts on this, Latvian Dan?
Well, sounds right. I don't think it got any major thing wrong. My thought is that it is what it is. We have to work with what we have at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, we should. I've been thinking about how to fix this, and my idea was that we should create a program for planned parenthood and planned children. Mm-hmm. Where if a couple decides that they want to have children, the government should have a really clear path, and that's why I think of a program that kind of embodies everything, kindergarten or nursery, and before even giving birth, like help to learn how to in general, have all the information needed for the parents. So for the parents, it's just they make this decision that they want to have the child, and the government is already like put them in all the right cues, so they get a spot in the kindergarten when the child gets to the right age, so they get to their spot in the school, and that the parents don't have to manage anything of it. I mean, if they want, they can change which school and stuff like that, right? They can communicate and talk. But even if they don't They just say to the government, we're planning to have a child. The government is like taking care of all of this. And another aspect of it that would probably not be a part of the government, but I think there should be really clear incentives to have a child. Like, as a government, they shouldn't pretend that they are given priority to families that decide to stay, decide to have a family here. So I think they should get tax discounts. They already get some, but I think they should be maybe even more. And it would be progressive. Like if you have one child, it's something. If you have two, it's already more or less significant. And if you have more than two, then it's already, like substantial. And all the discounts should be calculated in a way where if all of a sudden every family has 3 children, with the same tax exemptions, it's still all viable and feasible and possible, right? Because having more children is good for the economy, especially if you look at it from from the past.
But what's like the main industry that is keeping Latvian economy afloat? Because like if I used your solution, let's say in Taiwan, right? Like most of our economy survived because of TSMC. More kids doesn't mean TSMC is going to do better or is going to keep being profitable. It has very little to do with that because it's just one company, right? So like whether Taiwan is populous or not has very little to do with the success of the company that keeps our GDP high. But what about Latvia? Maybe your industry is diverse enough where just a general increase in population is good.
Yeah, maybe what I think is maybe I was not right with saying that it will definitely mean good for the economics. What actually should be the goal of this program is to, even if the population decreases, to slow that down.
Yeah.
We just like I think we should always aim to be at least at a point where even if the population is decreasing, it's not going to be such a hard like a sharp decrease that will strain the younger people in the future.
Exactly. But I feel like all the solutions eventually come down to some kind of welfare program. And the issue with welfare programs historically as well as concurrently has been that it's not popular with politicians because it's not popular with the elite class because it's their welfare that you're giving away, right? And it's
what are they doing with that money anyway? Like,
exactly,
come on,
right?
man.
Like they don't. It's not in their interest to give you welfare, right? Like it's a miracle that European nations have come up with welfare programs for its own citizens after the Second World War, and that has only ever happened because America is taken over the world's as the world's police, right? Imagine a world where Germany, Poland, all the European nations are still have to invest in military to defend themselves from each other as well as the Soviet Union. It would paint a very different picture nowadays. Like it would be very unlikely that you would have any pension or any kind of welfare programs.
Okay, that's just the game theory, right? Where you have entity A and entity B, and they both have one or two things which they can invest upon, like if it's defense or welfare. And if nobody invests into defense, you can put it all into welfare. But because if even just one person invest into defense, then you basically force the other person to also invest into defense.
Exactly. I think the welfare investment itself is very smart because if you're anticipating your population to eventually decline, you want to be a beacon of a country that attracts people from coming, which is why like places like America is still successful. It's because it's still attracting people to go there. And one of the best ways to do so is to have a welfare state, right? Like if your country is attractive, people want to go there no matter what. Anyway, let's dive into Taiwan. I think it's false. Taiwan, despite having the lowest fertility rate, I am constantly surrounded by kids to a point I'm so really annoyed. Restaurants that you go to, you have kids crying. I'm just trying to like be reckless with my own driving, but I can't because there's just kids on the streets everywhere. So I have to drive.
You know, you get bonus points if you hit the whole family at once.
I know, right? Like I want a combo.
Jesus.
It's such bullshit, man. But seriously, apparently Taiwan's TFR has hit a record low in 2024. I think that the data is not up to date because it's the lowest is 0.75 this year. We have been on like a 10th year consecutive drop. Every day, like you hear news of our clinics in faraway towns that would complain and say that, oh, the fertility ward, like where you handle pregnant people and newborns, have been empty, have been staffed by, maybe just a doctor and one on-call nurse, but that ward has been empty for weeks, like nobody's coming in and out. So Taiwan has become a super age society 2025. Over 20% of the population is now 65 years or older. And the National Development Council, which I didn't know we have, projects that our population could fall from 23 million to 14 or 15 million by 2070, which I still think it's a lot of people. It's 15 million. Right. The structural trap is that Taiwan's crisis is not fundamentally about money or policy. It's about a self-reinforcing social equilibrium that pushes parenthood on multiple simultaneous axes. Inordinate amount spent in private education, so similar to North Korea, not North Korea, to South Korea. This is true. Like we spend a lot of money on cram schools, on private tutoring, and stuff like that, and housing unaffordability. An antenatal workplace culture, which means which by the way, like how many weeks do pregnant women get off in Switzerland? Like maternity leave, how many weeks do they get off while still being paid? In Taiwan it's 8 weeks.
I think it's 1 year. No, that can't be right.
Maternity leave
Would be.
Switzerland.
It's something like 1 year in Latvia.
Oh wow. It's 14 weeks for Switzerland. Unusually.
What is it for Latvia?
Let's see. Latvia should have the European standard, right? Oh wow, 140 calendar days. With the benefit of
not a year.
So 80%, but excuse me, but this is just for maternity. You also have days off for maternity checkups, so like early days of your pregnancy, you get days off to do checks. And after maternity, you also have like a couple days off for both you and the husband. Sorry, the wife and the husband, not you and the husband. But Taiwan only has like 7 days off for the partner, I think, post-birth of the kids.
Do guys have
I think
days off?
Switzerland does. So it's called paternity leave.
Like a week or
paternity leave Switzerland.
I think it's a week.
2 weeks, 10 working days of paid paternity leave. That such a concept would blow up people's minds in Taiwan. Like men get paternity leave. That's insane. What's that?
Hey, we gotta be there to support our partners.
Yeah, but our government doesn't agree with you. Taiwanese government think that women should do it all.
Well, your government is wrong.
That's so sad. In Latvia, fathers are entitled to 10 working days of paid paternity leave, which must be taken within 2 months of the child's birth. That's nice.
Okay, then plan your holiday.
Can you imagine, like, you really need Oh no, okay, no, it's too grim, too dark.
You
Okay.
need a holiday, so you're like, I'm just gonna get you pregnant so I can have a day off.
Okay.
No,
Taiwan.
Jamie, no. It's not like that.
So Taiwan also has like an immigration problem where we have a lot of laborers coming from Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, and most recently, it's a very contentious point where we are going to have 10,000 Indians laborers to come over to Taiwan, and people are freaking out because I think out of 10,000 I think it's 1 in 10 foreign workers, immigration, like foreign workers in Taiwan are lost. Like they cannot be found on the system. We have a very big problem of runaway laborers. And it mostly comes down to the fact that a lot of them, yes, some of them ran away, just out of their own will, but a lot of them ran away because they were abused, right? Their passports were taken. I've personally been to these factories where I see that this is the funniest thing. I have handled a production case.
Is it funny that they're abused?
No. I've had I'll tell you this story. It's
That's
funny.
what you said, though.
It's funny because they got their freedom. Are you happy? They got their freedom. So
Do you find it funny that people suffer, Jamie?
no, I find it funny that a company, in the interest of getting an order during the
We're just
COVID
busting your
crisis.
balls, Jamie.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, I'll tell you the story. So it was during COVID. There were no orders. There were no nothing. Like the factories that we collaborate with were desperate for any production orders. So we did have like a Finnish company looking for production from Taiwan. We took that business, but because it's Finland, they have a shit ton of regulations. They need the factory to be green and humane. And right off the bat, when I saw that was the requirement, I told my boss, like, that's not gonna happen. We don't have a humane factories. What are you talking about? And then they were just, and then my boss was just like, no, we have to. We're desperate for orders. Okay, so we took the order.
As long as they don't find out, it's fine.
Yeah.
He was like, what is this? Vacation? What are those?
No, let me tell you, dude,
rights?
it was insane because I went to the factory and I told them, because I didn't know this, so I said, hey, of your immigrant workers, where do they get to have their own passports? Because I thought they would keep their own shit, right? Especially your
No,
passports.
they get the whip. That's all they get.
Exactly. Like they have physical punishment, not with a whip, I don't know what with, but they also take away the passports of these workers because they say if you don't do that, they'll run.
We shouldn't be laughing.
They will run away if you don't take the passport. So they're literally taken hostage, right? And then
I'm sure there was a lot of that during when England was still in the EU. A lot of Polish people get treated like that as well.
Exactly. And I went to the factory manager and I told them, oh, the inspector that the Finnish company has hired is coming. It's an American guy. So we have to make sure that the employees have their passports, right? And her, like the manager, her hands, which she's a good person. I thought she was a good person, but her hands were trembling at the idea that they need to give the passports away. Like it was as if I'm telling her, I'm stealing all of your employees. Like she had tears around the corner of her eyes at the idea that her workers are going to have some kind of freedom and autonomy. And that was just the most craziest, like that was so insane. I didn't think that was, I thought we all have this consensus that people should have their own passports. Apparently not, right? And whenever you do tell them
They are my slaves, my property.
Exactly. And then it's even worse. Like she literally cried one time because she had to pay their employees overtime because she fucked up my
money.
Right? Like
You
she
actually have to pay them? What?
Yeah, she fucked up my orders, and then she was crying because she was like, oh, but then I have to pay overtime, and then like, oh shit. And then she was crying.
Oh
Like,
no!
I could see the
try
tears.
to survive somehow.
And then at that moment, I just felt all kinds of hopelessness for capitalism.
Humanity.
The idea that you would be in pain at the thought of treating people fairly. Oh my goodness. But yeah. Anyway, I don't think this is gonna resolve itself in Taiwan, especially. We have one of the fastest decline, and it's not remotely getting better as well. Because one, we cannot have any immigration buffer. People are very, very I don't want to say racist because we're not racist. It's xenophobic. It's xenophobia. Like, people in Taiwan are surprisingly not so tolerant to other cultures, especially when they are Muslim. I think we're tolerant towards like rich white countries. So if you're from like the West, you're fine. But if you are at any point like darker, like you have darker skin, then people tend to like check twice. They're like, but is he like the cool kind of black? But yeah, the culture itself is not very tolerant. Not in the sense that people would gang up on you or be violent, but in the sense that a lot of foreigners have echoed the same sentiment, that they've come to Taiwan, they settled down for a long time, they still feel like they don't belong. You could even be completely fluent in Chinese, right? Like, you could speak our language, but there's still something, I couldn't quite explain it. It's just impossible for you to integrate. Like me going to the UK, if I could communicate with people in the UK, like it more, for the most part, I feel integrated. I feel like, at least I could integrate into this diverse environment. But Taiwan is so mono-ethnic, and with our singular language that is also notoriously difficult to learn, it's just so difficult. So we're kind of fucked. I think we are the most cooked out of, like, compared to Switzerland and Latvia. You know what? Latvians should immigrate.
Latvia has I would say Latvia also has this approach.
Has this approach of
being racist, basically. Well, not. Well, yeah. I don't know if you can truly integrate.
But that's the thing, right? Like, I don't know how you can be like that in Latvia.
Even then, like being half Russian, do you feel like they accept you?
Even this is kind of like the way you felt when you were at the border, Bernard, and they were like, which language do you speak, and like, what kind of Swiss are you? Ooh, or like Jamie, your friend saying that I'm not a real Latvian.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There
my friend from
problem,
the UK.
even if you're.
But I was gonna say that you guys look
support Latvia, then.
But that's the thing, right? Like, my friend speaks he doesn't speak Russian, he only speaks Latvian and English. But when I look at the two, you look like the same race. So how do you discern if somebody is in Latvian? Like, can a Latvian person tell that if someone in Latvia is partially Russian?
Well, I would say that there is still like visual differences, but of course it's not a very reliable way to tell. But you can usually kind of tell if somebody is like Russian speaking or not by the way, even by the way people dress sometimes. But I think maybe today is not the case. I feel like Latvians sometimes do not understand that deciding if a person is good or not just from the fact of like which language is their mother tongue or how well they speak Latvian is not the best filter criteria. I get why you can be suspicious. It's normal, like what's the word? Stereotypes are not baseless, all right? They come from somewhere, but you cannot really base any more or less major decisions on them.
Well, you shouldn't, but that doesn't stop people from doing so.
Yeah, so in a way, I don't think I'm fully integrated. I still consume media mainly in Russian or English. And my Latvian is not great also. But whenever I'm outside and in a public space, I speak in Latvian. And I mean, it's enough to communicate and get what I need. But yeah, it's. I feel sometimes I don't feel like I belong.
part of it. Yeah.
Let me just say, from somebody who totally belong, that belonging is overrated. Because I feel like I belong, but so what? Like most people don't care about me, you know, because it's such a populated place. You're just another NPC, you know. Anyway, I think that is good enough to conclude today's episode. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we talk about potential solutions to the population crisis, including but not limited to unleashing burnout on your population.
What the fuck does that mean?
I'm just
burnout
saying,
shall decide the fate of your country.
Burnout's online tag is Grimrat for a reason, because he breathes like a rat.
Wow, I went
Doc
into
Burner
a more negative route. Like, your aging population will be no more.
You imagine?
No population, no problem.
If you think about it, right? Like, but if you think about it, if you really want to have like a bull to come in and impregnate all the women, you do want to have like someone with very mixed gene pool, right? Like you do want someone like Bernard. You don't want someone who is you want like a diverse breeder.
Holy shit. Can we not use that term? It feels so wrong. It takes out the whole human aspect out of it. Like, what the
oh, you don't like being a biracial stuff?
That's intentional.
All right.
No.
That's by Jamie's design.
Okay, I joke. Right, thank you guys for listening in. Remember, we're also on Spotify. Check us out if you want. We've got our Patreon links in our description as well. So that's it for this week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.